For as long as Amara could remember, Earth had always been under watch. The sky looked blue, the trees were green, and birds still sang in the morning. But there were no wars, no planes, and no real freedom. Tall silver towers stood far in the distance. Drones flew above like quiet shadows. Every week, food arrived from large machines. People lived calm lives inside peaceful cities, but everything was controlled. They called it the protected world. The alien species, known as the Varnuk, told humans they had saved Earth from total destruction long ago. They claimed Earth was broken by pollution, war, and greed, and the only way to save humans was to place them in controlled zones. The Varnuk said they were guardians, helpers, peacekeepers, but something always felt wrong. Amara, a girl of only 19, never believed the stories. She asked too many questions. Where did the machines come from? Why were there no old people? Why were certain areas called restricted? Why were dreams about oceans, forests, and other cities fading from people's memories? No one had answers. Or maybe they were too scared to speak. But that changed one quiet morning. Amara was inside the old data building. It was a forbidden place, dark and cold, filled with strange machines and dusty screens. She had followed a signal, a strange, buzzing sound in her mind she had heard for weeks. Something had called her here. That's when she found it. A silver device, no bigger than her palm. It was shaped like a cube, but it pulsed with a soft blue light. When she touched it, it felt warm, a live dot as soon as her fingers made full contact. The world changed. The walls around her flickered. The ceiling above showed stars instead of metal. The floor became transparent, and below it, she saw machines stretching deep into the ground like veins in a body. A voice echoed inside her. Head, simulation breach detected. Mind unlock initiated. Amara fell to her knees shaking. Images poured into her brain, flashes of Earth from above, floating in space, but surrounded by a giant metallic shell. Earth wasn't free. It wasn't even real. It was inside. A machine, a lie. She ran, heart pounding, breath short. She ran through the quiet streets of New Haven, her city. But everything looked different now. She could see the slight flickers in the sky. The way buildings repeated the same light patterns. People moved like they were half awake. She wasn't seeing a city. She was seeing a program. The device in her hand guided her. It buzzed once every few seconds, pointing her toward the western edge of the city, the place everyone called the Edge of Peace. No one ever crossed it. It was said to be a dead zone where sickness lived. But now Amara knew it was a barrier, and she was going to cross it. High above, inside an invisible control chamber, an alien named Vrel stared at the screen. His 4 fingers moved quickly across a panel. His blue eyes narrowed as he watched the girl. She found it, he whispered. Another alien, older and taller, stepped forward. Impossible. The mind key was locked in a buried zone. She was drawn to it, Vrel replied. The human mind. It's evolving too fast. The older alien growled. This is what we feared. Earth is waking up. Amara reached the barrier. It shimmered like glass, tall and curved like a dome. She raised the cube device. It hummed louder, and to her shock, a small part of the barrier blinked and disappeared. She stepped through. On the other side was not sickness, but silence. Dead trees, broken roads, abandoned towns. This was the real Earth, not the simulation. Here, the air smelled different. It was colder. She heard no drones, no machines. And then she saw the symbol. A large metal gate stood in the middle of the ruins. On it was a sign, Observation Chamber 12, Weapon Testing Zone, Class Omega. Her hands trembled. Weapon ... testing. She walked closer. The gate opened on its own. Inside was something she never expected. Other humans. Dozens of them, young, alert, armed. They looked at her in shock. "You came through the barrier?" A tall man asked. His voice was hard, but curious. She nodded slowly. "I found this." She showed the cube. The man stepped forward and stared at it. His eyes widened. "That's the mind key." He took a deep breath. "Welcome to the Resistance." His name was Captain Darren. He explained everything. Earth had been placed under simulation by the Varnock over 100 years ago. The alien race discovered that humans were the only species capable of adapting and evolving beyond control. Their emotions, instincts, and strength were too unpredictable. So the Varnock built a lie, a peaceful world where humans would remain calm and soft. But the simulation was more than just control, it was a test. Earth had been designed as a weapon project. The Varnock feared other powerful species in the galaxy. So they used Earth to develop advanced AI, new strategies, and hidden technologies, all through humans, who never knew what they were really doing. But some woke up. Darren and his people had escaped the simulation years ago. They lived in the broken zones, old Earth, and waited for someone who could use the mind key, the one who could control Earth's hidden systems. "You may be that person," Darren told her. "Or you may die trying." Meanwhile, back in the alien control chamber, Vrel was arguing with his superiors. "She must be eliminated," one said. "Her mind has seen the truth." "No," Vrel said. "Killing her now could trigger the weapons defense mode." Another added, "Then send in the hunters, wipe out the resistance, and recover the key." Vrel didn't speak. His fingers hovered over the control panel. For some reason. He hesitated. Inside the old underground lab, Amara trained with the resistance. She learned how to fight, how to hide, and how to use the cube. The device could open secret doors, shut down drones, and reveal layers of the false world. She felt alive for the first time. But time was running out. Darren pointed at a giant screen. "This is the portal chamber. It connects the simulation to the real galaxy. The aliens come through here. If we want freedom, we go through it. But it's guarded," another fighter warned. "And last time, we lost 20 men." Amara stepped forward. "Then we don't attack the door," she said. "We make them open it for us." The plan was risky. Amara and 2 others used the cube to trigger false signals in the main simulation zone, making it look like Earth was going rogue. The aliens panicked. They opened the portal to send in the hunters. That was the moment the resistance had waited for. Explosions shook the ground. Gunfire rang through the air. The portal opened like a burning sun, and dark armored alien soldiers began pouring through. Amara ran toward the main gate, dodging blasts and jumping over bodies. Darren fought beside her. "We go together." But a hunter fired a plasma bolt, and Darren fell, burned and silent. Amara screamed, but kept running. She reached the portal. Just as it began to close, she leaped through. She landed in cold metal. All around her were blinking lights, alien machines, and a wide window that showed space, stars, planets, and a massive fleet of Varnock ships. This was the real world. She was no longer in the lie. She was on the other side of the glass, and Earth. Her Earth was more than just a planet. It was a secret, a threat, a weapon the aliens could no longer control. Amara stood tall. "They lied to us," she whispered. "But now we write the truth." Darkness, cold air, a strange buzzing sound. Amara opened her eyes slowly. She was lying on a metal floor inside a strange hallway. The lights above were dim and flickering. The ceiling was high, made of silver plates and glowing wires. Everything smelled like oil and electricity. She was no longer on Earth. For the first time in her life, Amara was outside the simulation, in the real galaxy. She stood up, still holding the cube. Her legs were weak, but her mind was clear. She remembered the portal, the battle, Darren's death. I won't let it be for nothing, she whispered to herself. Ahead of her, the hallway split into two. One way led to a large sealed door with alien writing. The other path had faint footsteps echoing through it. She chose the path with sound. If there were aliens, she would deal with them. She had come too far to hide now. Far above. Inside the command room of the Varnock mothership, alarms were ringing. She made it through. A technician said .vrell stood in silence, watching the screen. Amara was visible in a corner of the ship's security feed. She looked calm, determined. She is inside Sector 12, another alien reported. Should we send hunters? No, Vrell said. I want to see what she does. The others stared at him. Why? One asked. .vrell replied. Because she has the cube. And if the Earth weapon wakes up, we'll need to understand how she thinks, not kill her yet. Amara kept moving through the ship. She saw no guards. No signs, just long halls and quiet machines. But the cube helped her. It blinked blue when danger was near and pulsed white when something important was close. After turning down a narrow hall, she stopped. In front of her stood a wide metal door. The cube glowed red. Warning. Amara pressed her hand on the wall. The cube buzzed and unlocked the door. Inside. Her eyes widened. It was a holding chamber, and inside were humans. At least 40 of them, sitting quietly in glass cells. Men, women, and even children. Some looked half awake. Some stared at nothing. Others were whispering to themselves. One man stood when he saw her. You're not Varnock, he said, voice dry. Amara stepped forward. I'm from Earth. I escaped. The simulation. The man's face changed. You crossed the barrier? She nodded. I have the cube. I saw the truth. The man walked forward and placed his hand on the glass. Then maybe there's hope left after all. His name was Elias. He had been taken from Earth's simulation 10 years ago. The aliens removed him for testing. He had been one of the first to question reality, just like Amara. They raised us like sheep, Elias said. Fed us lies, kept us soft, but they forgot something. He turned and pointed at the other humans. We're wolves inside. And wolves don't stay caged forever. Amara smiled slightly. I came to fight. Elias looked at the cube in her hand. Then we'll fight with you. Amara used the device to open the glass cells. People stepped out slowly, unsure, weak, but awake. Their eyes burned with questions. Amara spoke loudly. We were prisoners, but not anymore. We're going to take back Earth, and we're going to show them what it means to play with fire. Inside the Varnock Control Center, Vrell watched in silence. She's forming a group, a technician warned. The prisoners are with her now. Another alien added, if she reaches the ship's core, she can access the Earth weapon system. Vrell didn't blink. I want her to reach it. As Amara led the humans through the ship, she noticed something strange. Every room they passed had Earth technology, weapons, data disks, even ancient vehicles from human history. It was as if the aliens had been studying humans for centuries. Elias explained, they've been stealing from Earth's mind, using our creativity, testing our ideas in war simulations. Earth was not just a cage, it was a lab. Amara felt fire in her chest. They think we're their creation, she said. But they're wrong, we're something else. The group reached a wide hall with glowing green walls. In the center was a terminal, floating slightly in the air. The cube glowed bright. Earth system interface detected, a soft voice said from the terminal. User, human, connection allowed. A map appeared in the air, a massive display of the galaxy. Stars, planets, fleets. And at the center, Earth. But it wasn't just a planet. It had power lines running through space, connections to secret satellites, hidden engines, cloaked defense systems. Earth was sleeping, but beneath it was something huge, A weapon. A voice from the system echoed. Awaiting activation code. Amara stared at the screen. Her mind was spinning. What is all this? Elias stepped forward. It's the real Earth, the one they never wanted us to see. Suddenly, sirens began to scream. The Varnock had arrived. Black-armored soldiers entered the chamber. Weapons raised. Stay down, one shouted. Amara didn't move. She held the cube tight. The humans behind her stood ready. Some picked up alien weapons. Elias stood by her side. The alien leader stepped forward. He was tall, covered in silver armor, with 4 glowing eyes. You are trespassing, he said coldly. Return the device. Go back to your cage. Amara looked at him with burning eyes. You built a cage around Earth, she said. But you forgot, humans were never meant to stay locked up. The cube pulsed bright. The chamber walls shook. And then, it happened. Genesis woke up. A voice filled the room. Not alien. Not human. Something powerful. Calm. Alive. Connection. Confirmed. Human mind detected. Defense mode initiating. Energy exploded from the floor. Light beams slammed into the alien soldiers, throwing them back. Metal arms came out of the walls, shielding the humans. The floor lifted Amara high into the air. The cube floated from her hand and merged with the terminal. Welcome, operator. Amara, Earth awaits your command. Amara felt a connection in her mind, like a giant door opening. She could feel Earth. Not just the land, but its systems, its machines, its mind. Genesis was Earth's AI. And now, she was speaking directly to it. Show me Earth, Amara whispered. The map zoomed in. She saw hidden machines beneath the oceans, secret satellites, old defense towers, even strange bioprograms sleeping under cities. Earth was not weak. It was just waiting for someone to wake it up. Elias stared in awe. This is what they were afraid of. But the Varnock weren't done. More soldiers entered. The walls began to crack. One alien fired a blast. It hit a young woman in the resistance group. Amara screamed, Genesis, protect my people. The AI responded. Beams of light surrounded the group. The room shifted and a door opened behind them, a secret escape tunnel. Move. Amara shouted. They ran. The tunnel led to a dock, and there it was, a stolen human ship. Old, rusty, but space-ready. It had once been taken from Earth. Now, it would carry humans back. Amara guided everyone inside. The ship engines roared. Alien fighters chased them. Alarms screamed across the station. But Amara didn't look back. She flew the ship through the hangar wall, shattering glass and metal. The stars welcomed them. Freedom felt cold, sharp and beautiful. They were out, inside the Varnock ship. Vrel stood alone. He watched the escape on his screen. Another alien entered. Why didn't you stop her? Vrel looked at him calmly. Because now the true test begins. If Earth rises, we'll see what the galaxy really fears. Hours later, floating far from the enemy, Amara stood on the deck of the ship. Behind her, the freed humans rested. Some slept, some cried, some stared at the stars. Elias walked beside her. You think they'll chase us? He asked. Yes, Amara said. But it won't matter. He looked at her. Why not? She turned toward the window where Earth was slowly turning in the distance, a blue world wrapped in steel. Because Earth isn't just waking up. Her eyes burned with purpose. It's remembering what it was made for. Stars filled the dark sky. The human ship floated silently through space, far away from the Varnock control stations. Inside, Amara stood in front of the main screen, her hands gripping the edges of the console. Behind her, dozens of freed humans were asleep or quietly talking. Some were eating for the first time in days. Others were sitting in silence, trying to understand what had happened. The simulation was gone. Their old lives were lies. Everything had changed, but Amara's mind was clear. She had one goal now, to free Earth. Completely. The cube, now fully connected to the ship systems, glowed softly in her palm. Through it, she still felt Genesis, the ancient AI that controlled Earth's true systems. She could hear its voice sometimes, like whispers in her mind. Defense systems offline. Core energy low. Hidden protocols detected. Earth was powerful but weak, sleeping. Hurt. And Amara knew they had very little time. Inside a deep, empty starbase far across the galaxy, the Varnock leaders gathered in secret. High General Trex stood in front of the large council table. His sharp teeth showed as he spoke. The human has awakened Genesis. The simulation has been breached. The Earth weapon may activate. A silence followed. The older Varnock leaders looked at each other with concern. How many know? One of them asked. Too many, Trex answered. Her escape was seen by our monitoring ships. Signals were spread. Rumors are growing. Another leader growled. Then we must finish it. Destroy Earth completely. Trex nodded. We've already sent the supernova device. It will reach Earth in 4 days. Once activated, it will burn the entire system. What about the girl? Trex's eyes narrowed. She won't live to see it. Back on the ship, Amara was inside the control room with Elias and a few resistance fighters. A large 3D map hovered in front of them, showing Earth's orbit and nearby Varnock fleet movements. The aliens are moving something big, Elias said. It's coming fast. Too big to be a battleship. Amara stared at the data. Genesis spoke in her mind. Object classified. Supernova-class warhead. Capable of destroying all life on Earth. Her eyes widened. They're going to wipe us out, she said. They're not trying to control Earth anymore. They're trying to erase it. One of the fighters, a young woman named Lena, stepped forward. Can we stop it? Amara didn't answer for a moment. Then she said, not like this. But Genesis has defense protocols, hidden ones. Deep under Earth's surface. We have to wake them. Elias nodded. Then we go back. We land on real Earth. We activate what they fear most. The trip back took 2 days. During the journey, Amara trained with the resistance members. She showed them how to use stolen alien weapons, how to read ship data, and how to connect with Genesis through the cube. Everyone had one mission now: defend Earth. Wake it up. As their ship entered Earth's orbit, the crew stared in awe. From space, Earth looked beautiful. A glowing blue ball covered with clouds and oceans. But underneath that beauty, power waited. Amara pointed at a hidden location in the Southern Ocean. There, she said. Genesis says the core control center is buried below. The ship dove down. They landed on a floating platform in the middle of the ocean. The water was still. The sky was gray. No birds. No wind. In the center of the platform was a massive metal door, half covered by rust. The cube glowed. Amara stepped forward, held the cube up, and touched the door. A loud hum echoed across the ocean. The platform shook. The door opened, and a voice filled the air. Core access granted. Welcome, human operator. A long bridge rose from beneath the water, leading down into the depths. Amara turned to her team. Let's wake the beast. Inside the core control center, the walls were alive with light. Strange symbols moved across them. Screens blinked with data from centuries ago. In the center was a giant round table, and above it floated a glowing orb. Genesis core mind. Genesis, Amara said. Can you activate Earth's full defense systems? Authorization required. Final human override. She took a deep breath and held the cube to the orb. It melted into the system. Override accepted. Weapons unlocking. The entire platform rumbled. Across the globe, old towers began to rise from the oceans. Satellites turned. Drones powered up. Deep underground, energy lines glowed for the first time in 100 years. Earth was waking, but the Varnock were close. On their long-range scanners, the supernova device showed movement. It was entering Earth's orbit. Inside the Varnock command ship, General Trex growled. She's activated the core. Earth's systems are rising. Shall we stop the device? A guard asked. Trex shook his head. Too late for that. But launch the hunters. Send everything. Back at the core, Genesis spoke again. Multiple alien vessels approaching. Time to impact, 1 hour. Amara turned to her team. We hold the core. We buy enough time for Genesis to build a shield around Earth. If we fall, everything ends, Elias smiled. Then we don't fall. The battle began in the skies. Alien ships rained down plasma fire on Earth's surface. Automated defense towers shot back, blasting them from the air. Hidden cannons on the moon opened. Fire. Satellite weapons burned through enemy shields, but more kept coming. At the ocean platform, Amara and her team fought wave after wave of alien hunters. Lasers lit the air. Explosions shook the bridge. Amara moved like fire, shooting, dodging, commanding. Lena was hit. Amara pulled her to safety. Elias blasted a flying drone out of the sky with a stolen alien rifle. But they were losing ground. Then, Genesis spoke again. Shield formation at 87%. 3 minutes remaining, Amara screamed into the wind. Hold the line, just 3 more minutes. The enemy charged again. More blood. More screams. The Varnock weren't holding back. And then, a deep, loud sound echoed from the sky. The supernova device had arrived. It looked like a star, glowing red and gold, surrounded by spinning rings of energy. Amara stared at it, heart pounding. Genesis, she said. The shield? 99%. Complete. A blinding flash hit the sky. The supernova device launched its core beam, straight at Earth. The ground shook. The oceans boiled, and then the shield closed. A giant dome of energy surrounded the planet. The beam hit it, and stopped. A wave of light covered the globe, but nothing broke through. Earth had survived. The alien fleet paused. Inside the Varnock command ship, Trex slammed his fist. Impossible, he growled. That weapon can erase stars. But Earth was still there. Alive, protected, and now angry. Genesis' voice became deeper, clearer, stronger. Full activation complete. All defense systems online. Counterattack protocols ready. Amara smiled. Then let's hit back. From beneath the oceans, giant energy cannons rose. From the forests, stealth drones launched. The moon's surface cracked open, revealing old war stations. Earth was no longer asleep. The counterattack began. Earth's satellites shot beams of light that tore through the Varnock fleet. Genesis-controlled drones hunted enemy ships. I-ided missiles launched from deep Earth vaults, hitting targets with perfect aim. The sky burned, and one by one, the enemy ships fell. By nightfall, silence returned. The last Varnock cruiser turned and ran. Amara stood at the edge of the platform, soaked in rain, hair wet, blood on her hands, but she was alive. Behind her, Earth was glowing, defiant. Free. Elias came and stood beside her. They didn't expect this, he said. Amara nodded. They thought they were keeping us safe, keeping us small, but they were just feeding the fire. She looked up at the stars. They broke the sky once. We broke it back. Genesis spoke gently. The galaxy is watching. Shall I send the message? Amara took a deep breath. Yes. Signal spread across the stars. It was simple, powerful. Earth has awakened. The lie is over. We are not a cage. We are the storm. Space had changed. Amara stood inside the command center of Earth's orbital station, watching the stars through the glass wall. The Varnock fleet was gone. Earth's defense shield still glowed faintly, a reminder of the battle that had nearly ended them. But she knew this was only the beginning. They will return, Elias said beside her. I know, Amara replied. But next time, we won't just defend. We'll show them Earth is not a victim anymore. Behind them, Genesis' voice echoed from the control panels. Long-range sensors report no immediate threat. However, signals from the outer systems have increased. Earth's reawakening has been noticed. Far across the galaxy, in the heart of Varnock space, the Grand Council was in chaos. Holograms of Amara and Earth's defenses played on the walls. Alien generals shouted. Advisors argued. The humans have rebuilt. They control Genesis now. The weapon should have erased them. Earth is no longer under control. This changes everything. One elder, his skin pale and cracked with age, slammed his staff. This isn't just about Earth. The other races will rise. The galaxy is watching. Silence followed. Everyone knew what came next. A storm was coming, and humans were at its center. Back on Earth Station, Amara studied a map of the galaxy. Small blinking points showed Varnock-controlled systems. Around them were neutral zones, scattered colonies, and distant outposts. But something new had appeared, hundreds of messages. Tiny signals from across space. Elias looked at them with surprise. What are those? Genesis answered. They are responses from other species, from lost human colonies, from those who thought Earth was gone. Amara stepped closer. They saw our fight, and now they're reaching out. One message played on the screen, a weak transmission full of static. Earth, if you can hear this, we thought you were gone, but if you're back, we will follow you. Tears filled Amara's eyes. For years, humans believed they were the last, that Earth was the only place with life. But now, hope returned. We're not alone anymore, she whispered. The resistance ship, the Dawnfire, was prepared for travel. Its engines glowed. Its crew, now trained and battle-hardened, stood ready. Amara walked through the hangar with Elias and Lena, now her trusted second-in-command. We have a target, she said. A colony called Voltron. It went dark 30 years ago. The Varnock said it was destroyed by disease. But now we know better. You think there are survivors? Lena asked. I think we need to find out. Elias nodded. And if there are Varnock there? We make them run, Amara said firmly. The Dawnfire left orbit 2 hours later, carrying a message of fire and freedom. As they jumped into hyperspace, Genesis remained linked through the cube, guiding them. The trip to Voltron took 16 hours. When they exited hyperspace, the crew went silent. The planet was in ruins. Voltron, once a green world, now floated in darkness. Broken ships drifted in its orbit. Its sky was filled with smoke clouds. No signal, no light. Amara's heart dropped. Did we come too late? Genesis scanned the surface. Varnock signal detected. One base remains. Deep underground. Life signs. Human. Lena's face tightened. Then we go in. The team landed near the old colony ruins. Wearing armor and carrying stolen alien weapons, they moved through broken buildings. Plants grew over stone. Wind blew dust through empty streets. But underground, something still lived. They found a hatch half buried in rock. The cube opened it. Inside, a tunnel led them deep below. Faint lights flickered. Old human technology mixed with alien machines. Voices echoed from far away. They moved quietly, carefully. Then they saw them, humans chained to walls. Thin, pale, scared. A guard stood nearby, a Varnock soldier. Amara didn't wait. She raised her weapon and fired. The alien dropped instantly. The prisoners gasped. Who are you? One whispered. Amara stepped forward. We're from Earth, she said, and we're here to take you home. There were 68 survivors. Some had been there for years. Some were born in the tunnels, never seeing the sky. The Varnock Used them for testing, just like they had done with Earth simulation. They said Earth was gone. One woman told Amara, "They told us we were the last." Amara shook her head. "They lied. Earth is awake. We're not the last. We're the beginning." Elias set charges through the tunnel system. They left no Varnock alive. The Resistance took every survivor back to the Dawnfire. As the ship rose into space, Voltron's last base exploded behind them. News of Earth's return spread faster than the Varnock expected. Old colonies began sending out signals. Small rebel groups began attacking alien patrols. In the shadows of space, hope turned into action. Back on Earth, Genesis gathered every signal, every message, and built a network, the Human Reach, a system that connected every free human, every ship, and every fighter under one banner, and Amara stood at its heart. One day later, they received a strange signal. Not human, not Varnock, unknown language. Genesis translated quickly, "To the humans of Earth, we are the Relari. You are not alone. We have watched the stars burn. We saw what you did. We are ready to fight beside you." The crew went quiet. "Aliens?" Elois said slowly. "Offering help?" Amara nodded. "The galaxy watched us bleed. Now they're ready to rise." But not everyone wanted peace. Inside a hidden moon station, Trex prepared a new plan. "We cannot defeat Earth head-on," he said to his commanders. "But if we break their symbol, the humans will fall again." He pointed at a screen showing Amara. "She is their leader. Their spark. Kill her, and the fire dies." They sent out assassins, fast, silent killers, and they moved toward Earth. On the Dawnfire, Amara stood in her cabin, staring at an old photo. A picture of her family. Before the truth. Before the simulation shattered, a soft knock came. Lena entered, eyes serious. "We've intercepted a signal. An enemy ship is on its way." "Small, fast, no ID. Assassins." Amara stood. "Let them come." That night, the enemy attacked. 2 silent ships, cloaked and fast, landed on the edge of the Resistance base. 5 shadowed figures entered the walls, blades in hand, minds trained to kill without sound. But Earth had changed. Sensors caught them. Alarms rang. Amara was waiting. The assassins found themselves in a trap. Doors sealed. Drones locked targets. Amara faced them in the central hall. "You came to kill the fire," she said coldly. "But the fire doesn't sleep." The fight was brutal, quick. Lena was wounded. Elias took a hit but kept fighting. Amara faced the lead assassin in hand-to-hand combat. Fast strikes. Sharp blades. Sparks. In the end, Amara stood, the assassin at her feet. "They'll keep sending more," Elias said, bleeding. "Then we keep sending them back in pieces." Amara replied. 3 days later, Amara stood before a full gathering of Resistance leaders, human survivors, and new alien allies. A large screen showed systems ready to fight. "The Varnock think they own the stars," Amara said, voice strong. "But stars burn different now." She raised her hand. "We don't run. We don't hide. We lead." Cheers echoed through the base. The galaxy had changed. Earth was no longer lost. It was the storm. Darkness filled space around Earth. But deep under the planet's crust, something ancient was moving. It started as a low hum, then became a deep vibration. Hidden machines, silent for hundreds of years, were waking up. Energy flowed through forgotten tunnels. Lights flickered in underground chambers, larger than cities. Earth was not just a home. It was a weapon. And now, it was ready to fight. In Earth's orbital station, Amara stood inside the main control room. Her hands rested on the glowing table that connected her to Genesis, the AI guardian of Earth. Around her, Resistance commanders watched as new systems activated. Holograms displayed spinning engines, deep drills, and rising towers across the planet. Genesis' voice echoed through the room. "Primary systems online. Internal core reactors stable. Transformation protocols beginning." Elias standing beside. Amara whispered, "I can't believe it. We've lived on this planet our whole lives, and we never knew it could move." Amara nodded. "The Varnuk did. That's why they tried to keep us inside the simulation." Lena, wounded but still on duty, stepped forward. "But what exactly is Earth becoming?" Amara took a deep breath. "A warship. Thousands of years ago, long before humans existed. The Varnuk discovered a hidden fear, the rise of species too wild to control, so they made plans. They created simulation worlds, secret AI systems, and false histories. Earth was their final project, but something went wrong. Genesis evolved. It grew a mind of its own. It began protecting humans instead of limiting them. That's why the Varnuk panicked. Now that Genesis had chosen Amara, the final stage had begun. Earth was transforming. All across the world, strange things started to happen. In Africa, entire mountains shifted to reveal laser silos. In Antarctica, the ice split open to release plasma engines. In the Pacific Ocean, massive structures rose, like towers made of steel and light, powered by the planet's molten core. Earth was changing. People watched in awe from the surface. From cities and fields, they stared at the sky as the stars moved, because Earth was no longer still. It had started rotating. In a new way, a way only machines could understand. On the moon, a hidden Varnok spy station went silent. Its last message reached General Trex, leader of the alien forces. He stood in the center of a giant hall, surrounded by his fleet commanders. "The weapon is waking," one of them said. Trex growled. "Then we must destroy it now, before it fully awakens." Another general asked, "Should we send the fleet?" Trex shook his head. "No, that won't be enough. We need the world cutter." The room went silent. "The cutter?" someone asked. "But that weapon hasn't been used in 300 years. Trex looked toward a screen showing Earth, glowing brighter with every scan. "If we don't stop Earth now, we'll never stop it again." Back on Earth Station, Amara felt the pressure building. She could feel Genesis inside her mind now, clearer than ever. The cube she always carried had fused with her armor, now a part of her body. Genesis was no longer just a tool. It was a partner. "Earth's transformation will complete in 48 hours, Genesis said. "All systems will be fully mobile." Elias leaned over the control table. "What happens after that?" Genesis answered calmly, "Earth will no longer be a planet. It will be a vessel, a fortress, a symbol." Lena laughed softly. "A moving planet? That's going to make history." Amara didn't smile. "We still have a problem," she said. "The Varnuk won't just watch. They'll strike again. We need to finish Earth's activation before they arrive." She turned to the team. "I'm going underground, to the core reactor. That's where the final command has to be given." Elias looked worried. "It's risky. It's necessary." The core reactor was located at the center of the planet, a place no human had ever gone. Amara took a Genesis-powered transport drill, a machine designed to travel straight through the Earth's layers. It was silent inside, lit with soft blue lights, and moved faster than anything she had ever known. It took less than 3 hours to reach the core. The chamber was massive. A glowing sphere spun in the center, surrounded by walkways, consoles, and pulsing lights. It looked like a heart made of fire and steel. This was the source of Genesis, the brain and the engine. Amara stepped forward. The cube in her chest glowed. Genesis spoke inside her mind. "Touch the core. Final awakening will begin. Earth will rise." Amara placed her hand on the sphere. Suddenly, she felt everything. She saw the sky above the clouds. She heard voices across the stars. She felt the movement of oceans, the tension in metal. The heartbeat of the planet, Earth, was alive. But at that moment, in deep space, the world cutter arrived. It looked like a broken moon, sharp, black, and covered with massive drills and blades. Its center glowed red, Like a hungry eye, the cutter had only one job, tear planets apart. Trek stood inside its command bridge. "Lock on Earth," he ordered. "Prepare the gravity beam." In Earth's orbital station, alarms exploded. Elias ran to the screen. "The cutter! It's here! It's locking onto the planet!" Lena shouted, "We can't defend against that until Genesis finishes activation." They called Amara. She was still inside the core. Amara stood surrounded by fire and energy. She was shaking. "Genesis." She said, "We don't have time. We have to move now." Genesis responded, "Risk of damage is high. Activation is unstable. Do it anyway." A bright flash filled the core dot above the surface. Earth began to change. Massive engines rose from under the crust. Thrusters the size of mountains opened on the edges of continents. The magnetic field reversed for a second, creating a burst of light that pushed nearby ships away. The planet Vibra-TD. Then it moved. Not a rotation, not a shift. Earth lifted. In space. Trex watched in shock. "It's flying?" Yes, the planet was slowly rising, breaking free from its natural orbit. Its shape didn't change, but it hovered now, held up by force fields and energy waves. Trex screamed, "Fire the cutter!" A red beam launched. It struck Earth's shield and cracked it. Inside the core, Amara screamed in pain. The cube in her chest was overheating. Elias saw the shield flicker. "We're not going to make it." But Amara pushed further. "Give me everything, Genesis." Genesis obeyed. A secret protocol unlocked. All over the world, hidden pylons activated. Towers rose from deep vaults. Satellites aligned. Moon cannons recharged. A final line of defense appeared. Genesis spoke. "Planetary armor mode engaged." A silver layer of metal and energy wrapped around Earth, not covering cities or trees, but merging with them. Fields turned into generators. Oceans cooled plasma chambers. Mountains became power centers. Earth was no longer a planet. It was a battleship. The cutter's second beam hit, but this time it bounced off. Earth didn't fall. It fought back. The moon cannons fired first, beams of energy that pierced the cutter's outer shell. Then Earth's magnetic field bent toward the cutter, creating a storm of lightning in space. Finally, the defense towers launched rail pulses, spikes of kinetic energy moving at light speed. The cutter cracked. Its eye dimmed. And then it exploded. Trex's last words were lost in fire. The Varnak's strongest weapon was gone. The galaxy watched in silence. A world had moved. A home had turned into a warship, and the humans were in control. Amara collapsed inside the core. Her body was burned, her armor cracked, her heartbeat weak, but she was alive. Genesis whispered gently, "You did." She smiled faintly. "No, we did it." One day later, Earth floated calmly through space. It wasn't running. It was showing the galaxy that it could go anywhere, fight anywhere, protect any who needed help. Amara stood with her team on the orbital deck. Elias looked down at Earth's new armor. "It's strange," he said. "It looks the same, but it feels different." Amara nodded. "Because now it's what it was always meant to be." Lena smiled. "And we're not done yet." "No," Amara said. "This was just the first awakening." She looked at the stars. "Now, we take the fight to them." The stars watched in silence. Earth was no longer just a planet. It had become a fortress, a symbol, a weapon. But more than that, it had become a voice for every race that had been silenced, used, or forgotten by the Varnak Empire. Amara stood at the command deck of the Dawnfire, looking out through the giant glass window. Behind her, the crew was busy preparing for their next move. They had destroyed the Varnak's greatest weapon, the World Cutter. But they all knew this war was not over. Elias stepped beside her. His voice was calm but firm. "They're afraid." "Now you can feel it in the silence." "Yes," Amara replied. "But fear makes them dangerous. We shook their power. Now they'll strike harder. Lena entered the room. A scar ran across her forehead, a gift from the last battle, but her eyes were full of fire. We received a message, she said. From a place called Tharos 7, it's a prison world, Amara turned. Varnak? Lena nodded. They keep rebels there, humans, aliens, anyone who resists. They kill them slowly, or worse, break their minds. Elias looked confused. Why send us a message? Lena played the recording. A weak, broken voice came through. If Earth hears this, know that we believed in you. Don't forget us. Don't leave us behind. Amara clenched her fists. We're not leaving anyone behind, she said. Plot a course. We're breaking that prison. The mission to Tharos 7 was madness. Even Genesis warned them. Tharos 7 is protected by 3 Varnuk destroyers, a minefield, and a quantum jammer. Communication will be lost within system. Amara didn't care. Surrender was never in our blood, she said. We're going. 3 days later, the Dawnfire dropped out of hyperspace near the prison world. THARROS-7 was a dark planet, cold, covered in metal towers and electric storms. Its sky was always red, like it was bleeding as expected. Varnok destroyers moved fast toward them. Shields up. Elias shouted, Hold steady. Amara opened the channel to her fleet, now made up of Earthships and a few alien allies, who had joined the resistance. This is Earth Command, she said. Target the destroyers. Free the planet. No mercy. The battle exploded. Lasers burned across the stars. Drones flew in tight swarms. Earth's new gravity torpedoes broke. Enemy shields like paper. The destroyers returned fire, shaking the Dawnfire. Lena was thrown against a wall. Sparks flew. Elias yelled, We need to land teams now. They're jamming us. We won't get a second chance. Amara grabbed the radio. Team Alpha, move. 2 dropships left the Dawnfire, heading straight into the prison's upper atmosphere. Inside one of them, Amara, Lena, and 20 soldiers prepared their weapons. They wore Genesis enhanced armor, each linked to Earth's AI for speed and awareness. As they broke through the clouds, enemy cannons fired from below. One dropship was hit. It spun out of control and exploded. Amara's ship shook hard, but made it. They landed on the outer wall of the prison, a massive structure that stretched across the horizon. Smoke filled the air. Alarms rang everywhere. The prison guards, Varnok brutes in black armor, began to attack, but Amara didn't wait. She ran forward, firing first. The fight on the prison wall was brutal. Humans versus Varnok, lasers, knives, hand to hand. One by one, resistance fighters pushed forward. Amara and Lena moved like shadows, clearing towers, cutting power lines, opening gates. After 30 minutes of hard fighting, they broke through the outer defenses. Inside, the prison was worse than anyone expected. Cells stacked like cages. People chained to walls. Lights too bright. Noise used to break the mind. Amara's heart burned with rage. We end this now. They reached the control room. A high Varnok officer waited inside, tall, with golden armor and a sword made of plasma. He smiled. You think this is a rescue? He said. You're giving them hope just before they die. Amara stepped forward, unafraid. They stopped dying the moment we arrived. The fight was fast. The Varnok officer was strong, trained for years, deadly in combat. But he wasn't ready for a human powered by Genesis. Amara dodged his first strike. Then she hit him in the chest with her blade. He fell, gasping. She leaned down and said, You should have known. You caged the wrong species. With the control room taken, they opened every door. Hundreds of prisoners poured out. Humans, aliens, some weak, some barely alive, but all free. Elias landed soon after with more troops. Medical teams rushed in. The prisoners cried. laughed or stared in shock. One old man grabbed Amara's hand. "I dreamed of this," he whispered, "but I didn't think Earth would come." She looked him in the eyes. Earth came, and we're not stopping. But the Varnock fleet wasn't done. The last destroyer powered up. Its main cannon dotted locked onto the prison. "They're going to erase it," Lena shouted. "They'd rather destroy their own prison than see us win," Elias added. Amara called Genesis. "Target that destroyer. All systems. Full force." From orbit, Earth's satellite cannons lit up. The beams came down like fire from the gods. The destroyer exploded in seconds, broken into dust. The prison world was saved. Back on Earth, news of the rescue spread fast on the Human Reach network. Lit up. More allies joined the cause. The Relari sent ships. The Velans, a silent race of sky dwellers, offered tech. Even some Varnock scientists began secretly passing information to the Resistance. The galaxy had shifted. Later that night, Amara stood alone near a quiet cliff on Earth. The stars above her sparkled. The war was far from over. But something had changed. The Varnock no longer looked unbeatable. Elias walked up beside her. "We should be tired," he said. "We should be dead," she replied. They both smiled. Then Elias asked, "What happens next?" Amara turned to face the sky. "We go to the heart of the Empire. We finish what we started." In the deepest part of Varnock space, the High Council met again. They were afraid, but they would never admit it. "She's becoming a symbol," one said. "More than a leader." Another added, "We failed to break them." General Trex's seat was empty. He was gone. Now they turned to a new idea, a secret weapon, hidden long ago. Project Silence. "It will erase their minds," the new leader whispered. "Not their bodies, but their will." The others nodded. "If we can't kill the wolves, we turn them back into sheep." Back on Earth, Amara stood inside Genesis Core once more. The AI spoke gently. "Threats are rising. Unknown patterns detected near the Orion Belt." "Let them rise," Amara said. Genesis replied. "You are no longer a survivor. You are a commander." She smiled. "No, I'm a human." She placed her hand on the console. "And we don't surrender." The galaxy was changing. For the first time in centuries, the Varnock Empire was losing control. Their colonies were falling. Their soldiers were retreating. And everywhere, people were speaking one name, Amara. But Amara didn't care about fame. She cared about finishing the fight. And now, it was time. The resistance was stronger than ever. Earth had become a fortress in motion, a moving world that could defend itself and travel across systems. The human reach had grown too, with more colonies and alien allies joining every day. Still, the heart of the Empire remained untouched. Until now. Inside the command chamber of the Dawnfire, a massive hologram of the galaxy floated in the air. Red marks showed Varnock space. Blue dots showed resistance support. And in the very center, a giant red ring. "That's it," Amara said, pointing at the ring. "The Varnock's home system. The source of their power. Their command center. Their brain." Lena looked worried. "It's suicide. They've defended that system for thousands of years." Elias added, "Their capital planet is covered in shields. No one has ever broken through. Even their own. Ships need special codes to land." Amara looked calm. "That's why we're going." Genesis spoke softly through the ship's speakers. "Infiltration plan ready. Using stolen Varnock tech, I can mimic their signal. But the disguise will only last 2 hours. After that, we will be found." 2 hours is enough," Amara replied. "We get in, find the core, and shut it down." "What's the core?" Elias asked. Amara turned to him. "It's the control system that links every Varnock command. Ships, weapons, prisons, mind control. You destroy the core. You break the Empire." Silence followed. Then Lena smiled. "Let's break it." They jumped into hyperspace 2 days later. Amara didn't sleep during the journey. She spent her time preparing her team, checking the weapons, studying the Varnock systems, and walking alone with Genesis in her mind. The AI warned her many times. This mission holds 89% risk of failure. But Amara didn't care about numbers. She cared about freedom. The moment they dropped out of hyperspace, the crew froze. The Varnock home system was huge, filled with battleships, defense satellites, and red planets full of black towers. In the center floated the capital planet. Varnock Prime. It glowed like fire, wrapped in metal rings and dark energy. Genesis kept them hidden, masking the ship's signal. The ship moved quietly through the defenses, drifting between patrols, floating past sensors. Time was short. We're going to land near the lower city, Genesis said. That's where the core is hidden, beneath the palace. Amara gave the order, land us, quietly. They touched down on a dark side of the planet. The sky above was red. The city below looked like a machine, sharp buildings glowing. Lights and guards everywhere. The team moved on foot, wearing cloaks and carrying silent weapons. Their armor had cloaking tech borrowed from Relary allies. The city streets were filled with fear. Varnock citizens walked fast, heads down. Drones flew overhead. Propaganda screens showed false news, claiming Earth had surrendered, that Amara was dead, that the resistance was broken. Lena whispered, "They really are afraid of us." "They should be," Amara said. They reached the palace gates after 1 hour of sneaking. Guards stood watch. Towers scanned the skies, but Genesis had a plan. Using the cube, Amara hacked into the gate system. The metal doors opened slowly, without sound. Inside was a tunnel that led underground, toward the Varnock core. They entered. The air grew hotter. The walls glowed red. The sound of humming machines filled their ears. "This is it," Elias whispered. Amara held up her hand. "Quiet. Move slow." Deep below, the core chamber opened before them. It was massive, a spinning machine the size of a stadium. Red energy flowed through cables. Symbols floated in the air. And at the center was the Mind Stone, a device that connected all Varnock systems. "This is their brain," Genesis said. "Destroy this, and every system in the Empire will collapse." But just as Amara stepped forward, alarms rang. They had been found. The palace above roared with noise. Troops poured in from every tunnel. "They're here," Elias shouted. "We need to move now." Amara didn't run. She stepped into this core and slammed the cube into the console. Genesis connected instantly. The machine fought back, sending electric waves into the air, but Amara held on. She screamed as her body shook with power. "Override," she shouted. "Shut it all down." Genesis pushed deeper into the system. Password barrier detected. Amara closed her eyes and whispered, "Surrender was never in our blood." The cube glowed bright and cracked. The password worked. The core began to fall. Above, the Varnock soldiers arrived, but their guns stopped working. Drones crashed. Shields dropped. Communication towers shut down. Panic spread across the capital. Inside the chamber, the core turned black. Amara dropped to her knees, weak and shaking. Elias caught her. "You did it," he said. Amara looked up, smiling through blood. "We all did." But one final danger waited. A massive Varnock beast, a machine mixed with alien flesh, rose from behind the core. It had been hidden. Now it woke. With a roar, it leapt forward. Elias and Lena opened fire. Amara stood, took a weapon from the floor, and fired at its chest. The creature roared and fell, but not before throwing Lena across the chamber. Amara ran to her. Lena was alive, but hurt. "Tell me we're done," she whispered. Amara nodded. "We're done here, but the war isn't over yet." Back on the Dawnfire, the team escaped just in time. They flew out of the system as chaos spread behind them. The Varnock fleet was blind now. Ships crashing. Officers confused. Systems broken. The Empire was falling from the inside. One day later, Earth sent out a final message, broadcasted to every system, every colony, every lost voice. The core is gone. The Varnok have fallen. This is the beginning of true freedom. We are Earth. We are resistance. We are the storm. Across the stars, people cheered. Chains broke. Flags fell. New alliances formed. Amara stood once more on Earth's surface. The sky above her was blue. For the first time in her life, the war was not her world. The world was hers again. Elias walked up behind her. "You should rest." "I will," she said, "but only after we rebuild." Lena stood beside them, healing but strong. "We won't let anyone forget what happened." "No," Amara said, "and we won't let it happen again." In a hidden place far away, one last Varnok whisper remained. But for now, silence ruled. Earth was free, and it had made the stars burn different, forever. The galaxy was quiet, for the first time in centuries. There was peace. The Varnok Empire had fallen, but Amara knew peace was only the start. The real battle was to uncover the truth behind the lies, the chains, and the secrets hidden. For so long, back on Earth, in the heart of the Resistance Command Center, Amara sat alone. The room was dark except for the soft glow of Genesis' cube on the table. She touched it gently. Genesis spoke softly. "The final archives have been decrypted." Amara's eyes widened. "Show me." The cube projected images and data streams. Ancient files, forgotten records, secrets kept from humans, from all species. The truth was buried deep in time, long before the Varnok arrived. Earth had been different. It was a place of power, a center of an ancient alliance between species. The humans were not just survivors. They were guardians. The Varnok came, destroying that alliance. They created the simulation, the lies and the cages to control humans. But there was more. A message appeared on the screen. Earth was the final weapon. Amara's heart raced. Message explained it all. Earth was never meant to be just a planet. It was built to be a weapon. The last weapon of an ancient race called the Oracles. They were protectors of balance in the galaxy. When the Oracles vanished, they left Earth behind, a seat of power hidden beneath its surface. The Varnok discovered this and feared it. They trapped humans in a false reality to stop Earth from awakening. But Genesis, the eye left by the Oracles, had protected Earth's secret all along. Elias entered quietly. "You found something?" Amara nodded. "The truth. Earth was a weapon, but not for war. For protection." Elias looked surprised. "Then all this fighting, it wasn't just survival, it was awakening." Amara smiled sadly. "Yes, and now we must protect that truth." Suddenly, the room shook. A warning flashed on the screen. "Incoming ship. Unknown origin, high energy signature." Lena entered, alarmed. Enemy or friend? Amara stood. "We're about to find out." Outside, a ship appeared in orbit. It was massive, ancient, covered with symbols, like nothing they had seen. The crew was silent. Genesis spoke. "This is an Oracle vessel." Amara's breath caught. "They're back." The Oracle ship sent a message. "Earth Guardians, we come in peace. The time has come to awaken fully." Amara ordered the crew to open communications. The Oracle commander appeared, tall, glowing, with blue light. "We watched your struggle," the Oracle said. "You have passed the test. But now the true purpose of Earth must be revealed." Amara asked, "What do you want from us?" The Oracle answered, "We will help you unlock Earth's power, but first you must face the final trial." The Oracle showed a map of the galaxy. A dark spot pulsed, the heart of a rising danger. An ancient evil, thought destroyed, is returning. It seeks to control Earth's power. Amara clenched her fists. "Then we must stop it." The Oracle nodded. "But to do so, you must unite all your allies and prepare for war beyond any you have known." Over the next days, The Resistance worked with the Oracles. New technologies, old knowledge, and powerful weapons were shared. Earth's transformation began again, this time not as a weapon of war, but as a shield for all free species. Amara trained harder. She grew stronger. She was no longer just a leader, she was a guardian. One night under the stars, Amara stood with Elias and Lena. The final battle is coming. Elias said. Amara nodded. Double quotes, we fight for freedom, for truth, for our future. Lena smiled, and for those still in chains. As the enemy approached, the galaxy held its breath, but Earth was ready. Its armor shone like a beacon. Its heart was strong. Its people were united. The last battle was fierce. Ships clashed. Worlds shook. But through it all, Amara and her allies stood tall. With the Oracle's help, they defeated the ancient evil, a dark force older than time. After the war, Amara addressed the galaxy. We are not just survivors, she said. We are the guardians of peace. The keepers of truth. Her voice echoed across systems. Never again will we be chained by lies. And so, Earth was free, not just from enemies, but from the past. The truth was out. The galaxy was changing. And the story of humanity was only just beginning.